I was gonna say, don't deny it. This is a
No, I
Mario
can't.
NES player with Wolf, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to hear it. All right.
Anywho, we're not seeing the Diddy come out to this
Ooh.
game. We're gonna see Pyra and Mythra come out, and we've seen what the Pyra and Mythra can do in River's case. You know, it has its wins, but it also has its losses. So whether he's picked up on whether he's learned a few new things with the character, I don't know necessarily. But what I do know for sure is Zane is still not. It's not gonna be a walk in the park regardless. Whether Pyra or Mythra win this matchup, I have no idea because this is just such an obscure matchup. But what I do know is Zane is playing so optimally, the way you're supposed to play Duckhunt. Look at all that damage already dealt up, 107%, already having this man off stage and potentially just going to end the stock if he can get the perfect trap set up.
It's going to be interesting because I feel like in neutral, if Rivers is ever able to actually break the zone up close, it can be a little bit hard for Duckhunt to deal with that, especially out of shield. I mean, Pyra's got that neutral B in or out of shield. You know, that's a pretty decent zone breaker as well as pretty reliable shield breaker as well as shield pressure on top of all of that. So up close, it's a different story. But on the reverse side of things, off the level is where I feel like Zane can really thrive, especially particularly against Mythra, to say the least. Yeah, Pyra's got, you know, Prominence Revolt goes up and down in the way that it does as Zane's going to take the first stock. But in Mythra's side B, which I personally like to call the super anime move, for obvious reasons, that move, if you got some pretty decent projectiles, you can actually hit Mythra out of that attack. You can intercept it with even some basic projectiles like Mario's Fireball, you know, Falco's Laser, stuff of that nature if you're able to hit it out at the right time. And Duckhunt's got any types of projectile in the book. He's got the Transcendent one in his down B with the Sheriff. He's got obviously the Cam, which he can put up and down any way that he likes. And speaking of down to the depths goes Rivers with the Pyra Mythra out here. One more stock, and I'm thinking we already might get ourselves a counterpick game. This is not going too well for Rivers so far.
Yeah, and I was really interested to see what Rivers could have done with the Pyra Mythra in this matchup because as we were noticing before, as that up air or nair, I believe, to seal the stock. As we saw before, he was using a lot of foresight, as we saw right there, to punish every time Zane would throw out any projectile, and that is going to be something to keep in mind when you're going against a character like I don't want to call him Mythra because that's just I'm just trying to call them by their genuine names.
Yeah, but, same.
It hurts because you know it wants to slip out. But either way, like the way Rivers is playing this matchup, he's playing it optimally. But it's just Zane is so aware of what to throw out, when to throw it out. Almost dying right there. But with a character like Pyra and Mythra, you really have to be careful with where you land, how you're going to throw out your attacks because one bad move, one bad option can definitely put them in a bad scenario. As we see that up smash gonna do the trick. Zane up one game on Rivers, who shockingly, I really have to say it's a shocking pick to go Pyra and Mythra for game one, but I guess it was more of a, you know, testing the waters. He didn't want to really check with Diddy or Chrom because they do struggle to get in when you have a player that plays Duckhunt with such beautiful trapping. I mean, look at that last stock. That's close for itself.
Wasn't even necessarily just trapping. I mean, my man was just going in and just like hitting him with every projectile in the book. In terms of knowing when to press the buttons, continuing on with what you were saying before, that is so crucial against a character who needs to discipline themselves already as much as a Duckhunt player does. That's already hard enough as it is when you're playing a character who needs to actually be patient with his zoning tools in order to pretty much do anything or function playing the character as intended. But when you need to know essentially 2 matchups in one, and you need to know, okay, a safe place to press my button here against Pyra is definitely not much against Mythra for sure. Character with that kind of like Mario level frame data with a sword that is about the size of Duckhunt himself. It's not exactly a fun button pressing time for a character like Duckhunt or pretty much any character in this game, which is why I personally believe Mythra is a very amazing one to say the least. So very good on Zane to know when to do that in and out. I mean, that was Rivers, Pyra, and Mythra, which he has been practicing a little bit, but it's not really, obviously, his most practiced character. He's known for his Diddy, he's known for his Chrom. He definitely just wanted to rip that out to try the waters out against a character like Duckhunt, and definitely didn't want to do Diddy for reasons we'll get into a little bit later. But the Chrom's out, Rushdown Revolt, time to see what we can do when we are actually in the face of the dog instead. Question is, who's going to get put in the doghouse?
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind is if Rivers wants to get in this character's face, oh my goodness, that could be horrendous. Oh, nice awareness there. But if Rivers wants to get in this character's face, he has to be aware of two things. That side B, that I continuously forget the name about. I just call it first B disc because that's basically what it is, right? It's a first B, right? It's a first.
Yeah, something like that.
It's a disc.
Whatever.
But anyways, yeah, with the side B and with that frame one can setup, you know, if Rivers wants to get in, he really has to be careful and cautious about how he's gonna approach because even though Chrom is pretty fast with not just his frame data but his running speed, stuff like that may happen where you just can't really do much about it because Duckhunt has a frame one option just to say get off me, you know. I'm a dog. I'm not gonna be a menace to what we call animal abuse, as we saw right there.
Yeah, it's more than anything, he tried so hard to avoid that very particular scenario. I mean, being ledge trapped by a Chrom, especially the best Chrom in the world, is pretty much no bueno. So you saw him actually dive very, very deep, way towards the bottom of the stage, wall jumped his way back off, and then slowly tried to up his way around. If anything, it just, like, slowed the inevitability of his demise there instead. But there ain't nothing slow about the way that Zane is demising Rivers on the other end of the spectrum, my friends. Holy moly. Zane all over Nevermore. Rivers tonight might be sending him to the loser's bracket with the way he's playing, though it's way too early to call. In this best of 5 set, and immediately turning it around, flipping that coin on the other end, is Rivers once again. We got ourselves a game.
Just enough to do the trick. Rivers sealed that stock, and it was much needed. If he was able to bring this back, it had to be at that moment. Then that upbeat spike to seal the deal and bring this to a final stock. But look at this combo. Look at these strings. Look at what we're witnessing. Zane is literally saying, get off me, do not get near me, or I will put you in the blast zone. I will send you out with a bang. No pun intended. As that can, not going to do it yet, but at 169%, you have to start thinking, what is it that Rivers has to do for game 3 if he wants to bring this back? Because that, you can't make that up. You can't just decide to do stuff like that. That is all planned. That is all practice. Zane really putting in that work and just showing that the time and dedication that he put into this character is paying off. Yeah, it was just such a pristine placement.
I love that.
You know?
Did you see that bait that he did with the can, shooting it behind him specifically to get him to air dodge past it so he could get the down air in that spot? That was so smart on the part of Zane to use his projectile. It's not even a matter of just trying to hit with the projectiles, man, as you see right there to close out that second game. It's also on par and just throwing them out and creating a literal no-fly zone for your opponent so you could just hit them where you know they're going to be instead. It's not always about, like, playing bad. It's about making your opponent play bad. And that is what Zane did right there. He essentially forced Rivers to do a bad option. He trapped him. As the trapper character is one to do. And it kind of makes you think more than anything else as to, is the Diddy going to come out? Because I can already, in a sense, guess or visualize why Rivers did not want to go Diddy. Diddy's the kind of character who likes to reset neutral a lot, set up his banana, and then, you know, like, really play solidly in the mid-range, mix up when he's going to throw the banana and not. And when you have to reset the neutral against a character like Duckhunt that much more, it's just going to give a character like that all the time in the world to set up his RTS, you know? Like, you reset neutral against Duckhunt, all right, then he's putting the Sheriff out, he's putting a can back out on the field for protection, he's shooting the clay shot out there as well to keep the pressure on you while you shoot the banana out. You reset neutral against Duckhunt with a character like Diddy, Duckhunt wins the neutral. Mm-hmm. So you don't want to do that. In a sense, Rivers would have to play so much more aggressive, even more aggressive with Diddy than he normally does, as I think he is one of the more aggressive ones in that sense. So I don't know about whipping it out. It's rough. It's rough.
Yeah, and not just with optimal Duckhunt playstyle, but just with Zane's playstyle in general, just being so laid back, not being afraid to just throw out cans, throw out discs, throw out anything projectile based to just say, hey, I'm not going to approach you. I have no reason to. If I have a lead, I'm just going to lay back, just make sure you get off stage so I can get these trap setups, you know, set you up for a potential stock taken. As we saw there, you know, with that second stock being taken with that there, it was just perfect placement, knowing exactly what to do, when to throw it out, and how to throw it out, and, you know, causing Rivers to throw out that air dodge, which cost him that stock. And, you know, that's really just the playstyle that Zane has been executing, and it's paid off well. I mean, you see it there, 2-0 on Rivers right now, and, you know, not many people can say that. Not many people can say, you know, I'm up 2 games to to none on Zero. I mean Zero on Rivers. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Rivers going Diddy in this scenario would be pretty interesting, but I wouldn't be surprised either. Like, it's just kind of like Chrom did well, but Chrom is easily. What?
I'm sorry?
What?
Now that ain't no Zero ledge trapping smash forward, dude. That is the.
I just lost my train of thought. What am I looking at?
Jimmy Neutron?
I want to make sure I'm not dreaming.
No, what kind of brain blast is this?
Oh my goodness, bro. Not your usual counter pick, not even a usual pick that Rivers will choose, but we're getting to see something we don't see very often, and that is a character that we didn't even know was in Rivers' arsenal. And now we're just seeing PK Fire side Bs everywhere at projectile-based game. You know, you kind of expect that in Pokemon-based stage.
Well, so far, I mean, Zane's already got these patented Duckhunt combos on deck. But, like, yeah, I mean, Rivers, he was considering maining Ness at the very beginning of Ultimate's lifespan, back when it's pretty much the cycle of all Smash games. Everybody thinks Ness is broken at the very beginning of it. It never winds up being true. And now, but I'm not kidding when I've known Rivers for years on end at this point. Watch this man play a million times over. Easily one of my favorite players to watch. I have never seen him play Lucas, ever. I've never seen. I'm sure there's like some hidden Wi-Fi Jersey lore somewhere where I'm sure like maybe Gons has probably seen his Lucas before. I've never seen this thing before in my life. And so far, it's been almost a minute and a half, and he's still alive despite getting eaten some pretty mean Duckhunt combos. And just as I say that, first commentator's curse of the evening, gonna eat the up air.
I thought you
first
got that.
Going to Zane. He's going for broke, dude. I don't know how confident he is.
This is such an obscure pick. I mean, I really don't know how to commentate this, but I do know for sure that Rivers, once again, in the same position that he has been in game 1 and 2. You know, Zane is just not, he just doesn't care. He's just throwing out his character, playing the character the way he knows how. And he does not care who you are or what character you're playing. He's just going to go in, do exactly what he's doing. Already has Rivers at 121%. And Rivers has no idea how to even counter this Duckhunt.
Evidently not, man. He's having such a hard time breaking the zone, even at the mid-range there. Trying to shoot a PK Fire and then just not getting it out, but there's the stick right to the face. Normally you throw those and the dog fetches them, but I guess he's just going to wipe that one in the face instead. And speaking of hits in the face, there's a go with the can. Up in the no-fly zone, once again, you see him just holding PSI Magnet to either reflect it, or he might just be done with the way that he was holding the magnet there. I don't know. Either way, he's down an entire stock right now, and Rivers has a hell of a lot of work with a character that he never plays in tournament to do against one of the best Duckhunts in the game right now. If Zane keeps playing the way that he's doing, this might just be a 3-0 and a handshake on this PS2 game.
Yeah, it would be an unfortunate way for Rivers to go, but you know what? Rivers can make up for it in loser bracket, depending if he is to be sent there. Because it looks like he's slowly but surely starting to bring this back, you know, racking up that damage, already doing what he has to get back in the game. But 2 forward smashes in a row just for no reason, you know. It also comes to show that he could be, you know, just giving up. Maybe. I mean, he's still trying. He's throwing out PK Fires, which is kind of what you got to do with the character. Yeah, that happened.
That's a 3-0 and no handshake, my friend, because Rivers is down in a different part of the world, down in Florida. My goodness, could you expect it? Zane, they are going to be moving on to Grand Finals winners side with a 3-0 over Rivers. My God, take a look at that bracket if and you can.